Hey, all my lovely subscribers. My name is Joseph Shepard, and we are here with the amazing, phenomenally talented Shuga Cain. She's going to be talking about her new single, her new music video that just dropped and came out, and also all the dying questions that you guys were asking. So let's get into it. You ready, Shuga?
I am ready. Hello.
Hello. How's this little quarantine treating you?
Girl, it is off and on. So you have good days and you have bad days. You know what I mean? I think I started out the quarantine in Arizona. I was stuck in Mexico. I was traveling. So I was stuck there for like about a week. And then I debated staying in Mexico for like a month. And then I panicked because they were closing borders, I heard. It was all this crazy shit in the beginning. So I was in Arizona for a little bit at my brother's condo. And then I went and visited my parents after I had quarantined for like 3 months because I was like super paranoid. I'm a huge hypochondriac. So I'm finally back in New York City. I've been here for about a month and a half, maybe two now. It's good days and bad days.
But I feel like New York has also been on like the cusp of like you guys are actually like progressing, where I feel like in California we've been going back in time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, I was really nervous about being out here, but like everyone is super respectful. Everyone wears their masks. All the restaurants are outdoor seating. I'm kind of an introverted extrovert, so I like being at home. So there's part of this. If I was like in between gigs and stuff, I'd just be sitting at the house anyway. So, it's good. My fiance is here. He's working from home, so that is challenging, and that he has like pretty much the run of the dining room and living room. So I'm pretty much stuck in this room. Or I'll go lay in my bed and like I'm on my computer there. So it is what it is. You make the best of it.
You make the best of it. Well, so before we get into the actual meat of this interview, I wanted to play a fun game with you. Now, the game that we are going to be playing is a pun on your name. We are giving this the title, Give Me Some Sugar. So I'm going to be asking questions based off puns of your name. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Shuga Cain, what is the worst accident you have had while performing?
The worst accident I've had, I was actually in Miami, Florida. I was doing a Senior Frogs brunch with my good friend Athena Dion. And it was my birthday weekend, and I hadn't scoped out the place. And so I didn't know where the steps were. I thought it was just in the front because I had seen a couch there. So I decided to step off onto the couch in a heel, and I cracked my ankle. And it was like at the beginning of the number, and I had a full weekend of performing. And let's just say by the end of the weekend I didn't stop performing. I was still performing. My ankle was like the size of my calf. It was so painful. And I was like I couldn't perform for like 2 weeks. I
Shuga Cain. Now, crane is a form of a bird. What is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal, besides my little Yorkie, Macheo, is my dog is my favorite animal. I'm just gonna go there. He's a little Yorkie. He's amazing. I've had him for 14 years, and he's my little angel. He's my snuggle bug.
Shuga Drain. Now, plumbing can be a dirty job. What's the dirtiest job you've ever had?
What is the dirtiest job I've ever had? I don't know if this is like, let me think about it. I don't know if this is dirty, but like I used to work, my first job ever was at Jack in the Box when I was like 18 years old. And it was disgusting because I was like working the fryers, and so I was like greasy and nasty. Then I was like doing the grills and like that shit. You're just like covered in grease, and that ain't cute.
Greasy grease and not the good kind.
Yeah.
Shuga Vein, what part of your body are you most proud of?
Oh my God. My legs. I love my legs, honey. They've always done me good.
In the last one, Shuga Cain, if you were to gain a lot of weight from eating one item, what is that bad fast food or bad junk food item you go for?
Cake, cupcake, and yeah, that's it. Chocolate cake, funfetti cake, lemon cake, raspberry cake, I don't care. Cake and frosting.
All the cakes. Today's video is sponsored by Philo. Now, Philo is a live TV streaming app with over 50 different channels, so you can watch your favorite TV shows in their current seasons. It also has unlimited DVR, which is absolutely amazing. So I can record the latest episodes of Drag Race Vegas Review, 90 Day Fiancé, and maybe Peppa Pig. So if you want to watch these shows and networks like MTV, VH1, Food Network, then you need to click the link in the description box to try Philo for 7 days free. And then it's 30% off your first month. Every additional month after that, it's just $20. $20 a month. Saves you so much on your cable bill. I absolutely love it. It's super easy. Just click the link in my description box. Try it out. 7 days for free. What do you have to lose? Now let's get back to the video. Thank you, Philo, so much for sponsoring this video. Shuga, you were born and raised in California, right?
I was. I'm a California girl.
California girl. So what was little Shuga like? Like, what was your behavior and your texture? Like, what were you like in grade school?
I always got in trouble for talking. I talked a lot. My report cards were always like really good, except for like my behavior. So I was like always chit chatting with the homegirls, with my girlfriends, and getting in trouble all the time. I think I was a cute kid. I was a good kid. My parents I acted right, you know, except for me chatting a lot. I was just fun loving, and I liked to joke around, and I felt like I was always laughing as a kid. So, yeah, I was having a good time.
That's good. And do you remember the first time that you actually remember liking a guy?
Yeah, it was like my best friend. I was like 5 years old. It was kindergarten. I thought, I don't know. I remember just liking him and just liking him. I didn't really know at the time, like, whether it was like, you know, perceived as okay or not. So like, he was just my best friend, and we had so much fun. That's the first time that I remember, like, just, you know, liking a boy.
Wow, like that early. Like mine didn't hit until I was probably like 13, 14, where I actually remembered, and then like didn't want to accept it for a while.
Oh, wow. No, I started young, honey. So, you know, if you add on the years now, it was a very long time ago.
And so you end up getting as you said on RuPaul's Drag Race, you're working an actual full-time job. You are working a 6-figure salary. You're doing this, and then all of a sudden you just have this urge. This urge to quit and do drag. Where did this urge come from, and how did that even come to be?
It's funny. I mean, I feel like it was 40 years in the making, or like a little less than, you know. I went to school for music. I have a master's degree in opera performance. I've always wanted to be a singer and a performer. And so growing up, I was in like choirs, and I did all kinds of stuff like that. I did musical theaters and things. And it wasn't until later in my life that I went to school for music. So I was always kind of going back and forth of, you know, doing my art, like doing music or doing musicals, and then working. And it was always like I would kind of go for it, but then I would need money, and so I'd go back to work, and then I'd be at work, and I would do it until I hated it, and then I'd quit. So I was always like hot and cold, hot and cold. So this is a pattern that I've had for a very long time. So, you know, here I was in New York, and New York is a place to make shit happen. So I hadn't been doing anything but just working and doing really well. Like, I don't do things half-assed. I always go like the nth beyond. So I was very successful in my corporate job, and I climbed the corporate ladder very quickly. But like, I hated it. I was like, I'm in New York City. I want to like perform and do stuff, and drag was something that just kind of stumbled in my lap that I didn't know was a thing that I would love and want to do. And so I think, again, it was just that moment of you either give in or you give up, right? And I wasn't ready to give up. So I decided to give in, and I had saved money, and I just was smart about what I was doing. I had amassed enough gigs to kind of make it, and then just kind of live off my savings, and I just went for it.
You did. You literally went for it, and then you end up in 2019 on RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, I had heard when you got that phone call, you'd only been doing it for a couple of days. Is that right?
I had quit my job and then had gotten the call that I was on the show. So like it was that final, because I was working for a year and then I panicked. I went back to work and I was there for like a month and I was like, what am I doing? I was like, if you don't, I had submitted my tape and I was like, if you just don't like, just do it. Like nothing is ever going to happen. Like, I feel like when you open yourself up to, the universe and you're really accepting of what it is that you are supposed to have, then you get it. Right. Like, and so like, I really had to really give in. I didn't do that. Right. Like I went back to work. And so when I fully committed, it was when that happened. So, yeah, it was crazy. I can't believe it. It's been a dream. It's been a total dream.
Where were you when you got that phone call?
The call that I got, I was asleep on the couch when they called me, and I picked up the phone and saw my message, and I ended up calling them back, and they were like, I was like, I'm sorry, I was taking a nap. And she was like, what are you going to do when you tell everyone that, it's just like, how did she say? She was like, so you're just going to tell everyone that you were taking a nap when I called to offer you Drag Race? And I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, that was crazy. I was sleeping, taking a nap.
Ah, that must have been the coolest feeling though. Like to actually go from like quitting that job and then having that phone call like right there. It's like the timing was perfect.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I was in this room right over here, like crying and screaming to the producer on the phone.
So you get on the show, you walk into the workroom. What is the first thought that you have being on this television show and seeing your competition?
Oh my God, do I even remember? I think I don't know if I remember. I remember just like waiting in a room for hours on end. And then I finally got to go in, I was thinking that I was the last girl to come into the workroom and I was the second girl. And so I turned and I saw Nina. I remember just being really excited. I wasn't like nervous. I didn't feel like, I wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was sizing up the competition, right? Like I just walked in and I turn and I see Nina West. And she is just like this beautiful, loving, just kind of joyful energy. And when I saw her, I just remember just being really excited to finally meet someone and then realize that I was like one of the first girls to walk in. So it was just like joyful, ecstatic, like kind of crazy energy. That's all I remember is just being fun. It was fun.
I mean, I just like look at it and I'm like, that would have just been the coolest experience to ever be like on a show like that, and for you to be able to do that is like, wow. And one thing that a lot of fans ended up not liking was your elimination. It came out of the blue for a lot of people. I remember I was watching at a bar and I was like, what is going on? You were on the winning team. Why are you in the bottom? You end up getting eliminated. Was that a shock to you at all?
It was a total shock to me. We worked really hard on that challenge and we did really well and we were received really well. The challenge was great. And the runway, the morning I had the thought of not doing the reveals, only doing just the top. But I was like, I might as well just do it. So I did it. And so, I mean, I get it. The last two reveals weren't that great. It didn't come across like what I'd wanted to come across. It didn't come across that way, right? But yeah, I was super surprised. I definitely didn't think I deserved to be in the bottom on that episode. And definitely didn't feel like I deserved to go home. So, it was like, I mean, I was shocked and like surprised. But like, I think... it is what it is.
And if you feel like you did so well and then to end up getting eliminated, how did you actually end up convincing yourself that like everything was okay? Because I feel like in my mind, I would just be reveling on this like 24/7 of like, I did good. What did they not see? What happened? What happened? What happened?
I think I sat in that for a while. I sat in it for a very long time. And like, we taped and then we sit for a year. So I sat with that for knowing that like I shouldn't have gone home, and then actually seeing it and watching it and seeing like everything, I was like, oh girl, like, I mean, I didn't feel like my performance was bad. So it was just kind of like, I sat in it for like a year and change. And I think it comes to the point where it's just kind of like, okay, this isn't all that there is, right? Like, it's over, it's done with. There's nothing that I can do about it. The judges make their decisions based on, you know, who knows what. Like they know what they're doing. Like I'm not in the judges thing, and so like I finally had to just kind of deal with the fact that like there's nothing I can do about it, girl. It's literally been like 2 years or a year and some change. Like you guys gotta let it go. And so, I mean, I don't really think about it that much anymore. I'm grateful for being on the show. I'm grateful for having the opportunities that I've had. And so it's just kind of like, um, I don't know. I guess you just kind of like get over it. It takes time. Trust and believe. I was feeling my feelings and I was all over this shit. And if you go see my Sugar in the Raws, you could. I laugh because I can see like how I'm like, oh, I'm getting pressed like every episode that I'm doing. And by the end, I was like, fuck everybody. Like, and so like I went through it, but like you get over it. You know, you just get over it.
When you saw yourself on the screen for the season, what did you end up thinking? Did you like think like what did you think about your edit? How do you think that you were portrayed? Do you think that you were portrayed like the best light of how you fully are 100, or do you feel like things were left out?
You know, I was really happy with how I was. I mean, what you saw is what I am. Like you see what you get. Like I didn't feel you should have saw more than me. I wish you would have seen more of me. And you know, they didn't. I wasn't involved in a lot of the cat fighting and like all that shit. And so I think that's why you didn't see me, right? I think had I been a little more whatever, then maybe you would have seen me. But that's just kind of not. I just didn't care. Like I was really competing and trying to do my best in everything. So like that was like my main focus. And so, but aside from that, I felt like what they showed of me was me and is me, and I was like actually really happy to see that. You know, and so I can't. I mean, I can't be upset with that. You know, what you saw of me is really like who I am. So I was happy.
Well, you made a lot of fans happy. You end up touring the world afterwards. You're doing tours. You're going on stage. What do you think makes you the happiest about actually performing?
Um, you, it's like twofold. It's like performing for me has always been so joyous, and it is the connection that you have. I love live theater, and so doing drag live is this. You know, I equate it to the same, like this connection and this moment that you share with an audience, right? Like you can prepare and plan and do all these things to like for this performance, but like you never know what's going to happen. It's always a unique experience, and it's always this like exchange of energy between you and the people that are watching you. And for me, it's just such a beautiful thing, and it's so exciting and it's so fun. I surprise myself too sometimes when I'm performing. Sometimes I'm like really like in it. There's times where I'm just kind of like tired and I don't know what's gonna happen, but like something happens, like something changes the minute you step on that stage. And that's something that for me is just so gratifying and so beautiful to be able to share with people. And so like I love it. Like I just love it. It's been really weird to be in this quarantine to not have that exchange. It's I've done shows on Instagram Live and all this kind of stuff, and it's just not the same. I was very resistant in the beginning to doing shows, and I still am a little kind of like I'm not vibing with this shit. Like I don't, you know, like I need my live theater. I need that connection. So that's.
Well, you spoke on COVID, and COVID aside, looking at your current career as a drag artist, is this what you envisioned or expected when you left your job?
Is it, you know, I in I think it's like more. I expected to perform. I expected to uh travel, but like I think it was more. I got more than what I had bargained for. Like the fans are so amazing to me, and the kids that you know are on the Sugar train are like incredible, and I love them, love them. And I've gone to so many beautiful places and met so many different people, and I've been to different countries, but I've been to so many parts of the United States that I never thought I would ever go to. And there are these beautiful LGBTQIA plus communities, like in these like very conservative parts of America that are just supportive and thriving and incredible. And it's been a combination of performing, but then also kind of like um, I don't know. I feel drag is a form of activism, and performing is it just me being there in these communities. And yes, I may be dancing around or whatever, but like that in itself is kind of like, a form of activism. And so it's a beautiful thing to do. And like, so I think, is it what I expected? I think it's so much more than I had expected. And I've done some cool ass shit. I mean, like, come on. I mean, it's just like so weird. It's so crazy. Like, I have to kind of sit down every once in a while and be like, oh, did you really do some shit for Pepsi? Like, what was that? Like, did you like, travel to? I never thought I'd get to Australia and to go there and be there and spend time with some amazing colleagues, and it's just been like so surreal. So.
When you look at those moments that you've had, like, the traveling aspect and Pepsi and like doing music and all of this stuff, when you look at that, do you actually revel in the moment, and do you take that in the moment that is happening, or do you not realize it and then take it in later?
It's sometimes I am such a workhorse and I'm super hard on myself. So like I'm always go 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 go. So like a lot of times I'm like, yes, work, I did it, blah blah blah, and it isn't until after the fact that I have these moments of like, oh wow, that's so incredible. But then there's times where I'm in the moment. I'm like, this is so fucking awesome. Like how great is it? And so like yeah, I guess it just depends. I had the most recent was dropping the new single, and I was on my couch the morning and I was just getting on my social media, and I had this moment of euphoria and joy. It was like all of these things kind of coming together, and with COVID and all this shit that's going on in the world, like I have not felt that in a very long time, and it was so interesting. I just remember a good friend of mine always telling me when you have those moments to sit in that moment and stay with that moment for as long as you can, so that you know what it feels like, so that you can like, like recognize when it happens or recreate it for yourself. And so that was nice to kind of just sit there and just be thankful for the opportunities that I've had, and like really proud and grateful for like all of the amazing people I get to work with and the things that I'm doing. So yeah, that was kind of a nice moment.
Let's talk about that nice moment. It's your single. It is Sweet Love. You ended up putting that out last week, and you had an amazing video directed by a friend of mine named Julianne. So let's talk about that. Where did the song come from? What was the inspiration? And then like, let's talk about that wet look that you had going on with your like little lightning bolt on your face. Like, come on, let's just open the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. I obviously like I've been needing to do music, and this was the perfect time to do music. And so yeah, I reached out to my management. I reached out to Jason, and I was like, hey, I need some people to collaborate. Who do you know? And he had given me a name of Darren Burgos and Paolo Ramirez, who are both in LA. And I just happened to be there for a couple of weeks at the top of the year. And so I was like, let's just meet up. And I told them, we kind of chatted. And first day in the studio, they had put it together like just this track with like a bass line and some rhythms and all this and that, and like they actually had done a lot of work. And so we kind of sat in that room for a little bit, a couple hours, and listened to it. And I know they thought I was like, they were like, who is this crazy ass bitch? Because I was like, take that out, take that out, take that out. And by the end of the thing, I left there with just like a beat and a bass line. I was like, what did I just do? And I was like, okay, whatever. So I love 90s house music. That is the shit that I grew up with. It is the thing that makes me want to dance and be joyful. And I wanted whatever I put out, at least the first one, to be fun. I wanted it to be nostalgic, but I wanted it to be like kind of a new kind of twist on it. And so, yeah, girl, it was like I had this beat and a bass line. I even still was resistant. I still didn't want to do the work. It was the day of. I was supposed to go back to them, and I was at Starbucks. I had 1 hour before I had to leave, and I was literally like, you got to get this shit together. So I remember just pacing around WeHo in this little like circle, listening to this track. and I came up with the melody and the lyrics, and I was just kind of the inspiration of the lyrics. I knew I wanted one of my mantras is always just to be free in whatever you do, and like have a freedom of love, a freedom of expression. And so I always thought of like, where do I feel the most free? And like literally is like on the dance floor. Like I love to be dancing house music. And that's how I met my fiance, Gilbert. And the song and the lyrics actually inspired by him because we met on the dance floor and like we've been together for like 9 years. And so it was just kind of like all these things just kind of came together within this hour, and little bits and pieces came about. And then I met with the guys and we just kind of like hashed it out in like a couple of hours. And the vocals on the track are actually my scratch vocals. I never got a chance to record them again because like COVID hit and everything. So like those are like literally like scratch vocals. Like that was like after a week of me like boozing it up and living my life.
Then you take the song and you end up shooting a video. Did you shoot the video actually like in Corona time?
It was. So this whole thing was planned to shoot. I was actually planning on shooting in Palm Springs over DragCon weekend. Like it was going to be this epic thing. It was supposed to come out in Memorial Day, and then COVID happened. And so like we literally worked on it throughout like the quarantina. And I couldn't be more grateful to have this project because it was really hard for all of us. You know, everyone knows what the quarantine was like. And so it was nice to be able to work on something that kept me motivated and to work with people that I admire and respected. And so I was came back to New York, and I was like, we have to release this before the end of the summer. And so I contacted Honey Davenport, and her and I were chatting about it. And I'm good friends with Julian, who is incredible. And he was like, bitch, he's like, do this in LA. But I just left LA. And so I was like, they were so amazing. I'm kind of all over the place right now, but like, I'm so grateful for them. Like they did an amazing job. They came here to New York, got their quarantine on, and then we shot outside. For me, I was really important for the kids, especially that like we were like really safety was first and foremost for me. Like I was like, we have to shoot this outside. Everyone needs to be like super far away. Like I'm a hypochondriac. I was like crazy. It just so happened that New York lifted our phase 4 so we could actually film. It was within the law to film. Like they did it like I want to say like maybe a few days before we were slated to like kind of do this like in the Bronx. So it worked out, and like, yeah, girl, it was crazy. We shot on the hottest day in the Bronx. We were there like till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning till the sun came up. We were like sweating. These kids had masks on. It was wild. It was so crazy.
Well, you would never be able to know from seeing the video that you guys were sweating your butts off. I mean, girl, it was great. I think the thing is too is that you said it, like, you know, I absolutely love 90s house music. Like I love it so much, and that's the vibe that it gave me. The whole video gave me the vibe too. And then is there hope for an EP or new music coming out after this? Like, is this inspiring you in any way?
Yeah, no, there's a full EP coming. It's just, you know, it takes time. This took so long. But yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I've always, like, for me, growing up in the Janet Jackson, Paula Abdul, Mariah Carey world of the like 90s, like these were my inspirations. And so I've always wanted to be like, to do something like that. So like this was kind of like the beginning of that fantasy. So, you know, if the kids are wanting to listen to it, I'm gonna do it.
Yes. That's exactly what you should do. Like I absolutely love that. And as we are wrapping all this out, I have a couple more questions, but I would like to know if you for one day could put on another drag queen's shoes and live in their shoes for one day, who would you choose?
Who would I choose? There's so many. You know, I would have to say, I want to know what RuPaul is up to, bitch. I want to know what this bitch does. Like, let me put on her shoes. I mean, she got big ass feet, so not like literal shoes, but like, what does she do? I just don't know. Like, this bitch is always busy. She's doing shit. Like, right now during the quarantine, what is Mama Ru doing? Like, what is she doing? Like, I don't know. Is she like lounging in the bath all day? Is she gardening? Is she like need cross stitching? Like, bitch, I want to know. Like, I want to know what it's like to like live in her fancy ass house, and kind of like experience what that shit is and like what she does. Because I mean, we see her amazing persona and like we get to see glimpses of her here and there, but I don't know what she does in her house.
Exactly, and I mean, the thing is too is like, what is RuPaul like out of drag like in a home life? Like that's a reality show that needs to happen.
I mean, she's not wearing suits at home, bitch. I
Yep.
mean, what is she wearing? Is she wearing sweats? Is she wearing tank tops? Like, what's the tea? Silk pajamas? I want to know. That's what I want to know.
And what's next for Shuga?
So, girl, I'm working on music. Now we're stuck at home, so I can't really do anything. I'm working on music, and I'm launching a new project on Patreon. I'm trying to go back to the basics, honey. Like, what are the things that bring me joy, and what are the things that I love to do? And so I'm doing a Patreon page called Baking Queen. I'm baking for the children. So that's fun. Like, that's been a love of mine since I was a wee little young thing. And so music and baking, those are the things that I can do in this little tiny apartment in New York City, and so I'm doing that.
Can your next music video be you, like a QVC, you baking, like a cooking show with some music? I need that.
That would be amazing. I could come up with some sugar products to sell. Absolutely.
And my last question for you is, what is a message that you have for the LGBT community?
You know, I would say the world is super crazy right now. There's a lot going on, politics-wise. I mean, and just like there's so much hate going on. I think it's so important that despite all of this, is that we never stop being who we are, and we never stop supporting each other. So I think the tendency sometimes, especially for my generation, is like when you start to see all this kind of like hatefulness coming to our community and like to all the communities that you kind of like be secluded and you kind of go in without, you know, you kind of like try to hide a lot of things. And so I think it's really important to be seen, to be you, to be out there, and to be supportive of everyone, and all the things that are happening. Like that's the only way. That's the only way to move forward, right? Is to be supportive and to be there for each other, and just to be you. So you know, keep doing you, boo, and love everybody, and just be there for them. I mean, that's all I got. You know,
It's good. It's good wisdom, and you got to be there. I think that the one thing is that our community can be extremely either A, uplifting, or B, the total opposite. And it's very hard, I think, you know, to be able to be, especially in this time, and deal with all the negative. And it's like, at this time, just bring everybody up. That's what we need.
Absolutely. There's a lot of, it's just too much. There's too much shit. There's too much shit. And I feel with everything going on, it's kind of like uplifting everything and having us kind of like look inward and look at ourselves. I'm hoping that with all of the negativity that's out there, that there's more love there than what we're being shown, than what we're being shown. You know what I mean? So.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you so much, Shuga, for being here. As we are coming to a conclusion right now, Shuga, I want you to plug yourself. I want to tell you where they can find you on the socials, and that song, Sweet Love. Where can people listen? Where can people buy? What can people do?
Absolutely. So you can follow me on all the socials at Miss Shuga Cain. Everything. TikTok. I'm on TikTok, girl. I'm trying to do what the young kids are doing. So TikTok, the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that shit. The Sweet Love is available everywhere. Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, a thing called Deezer. I have no idea what that shit is, but if you subscribe to it, it's there. And the videos out on YouTube. So yeah. But when I got remixes, the remixes dropped the other day. So if you like to like get down and dance, those will be fun too.
Yes, and we'll put a link down here in the description box so you can click it and go straight to Shuga's music. Well, guys, I'm Joseph Shepard. That's all the time that we have for you guys today. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment, all of that good mojo. Have a good rest of your day. Until next time, I'm Joseph, and that's Shuga Cain.
Thanks for having me. Bye.